Hello, and welcome to section 2.4, which concerns linear equations, but now a general strategy to solving them. So first of all, let's go through it. So remember, an equation is two expressions on either side of an equal sign. Okay, so the first step would be to simply simplify each side of the equation as much as possible. So you can either use a distributive property to remove parentheses, combine like terms, whatever you need to do until you cannot simplify each side anymore. And then the next step would be to put all the variable terms on one side of the equation using addition or subtraction property of equality. And then finally, to get the numbers, the constant terms on the other side, and then get the variable by itself by dividing. So let's go ahead and do an example. So let's say here we have negative 6 times the quantity x plus 3 is equal to 24. So let's go ahead and distribute that negative 6. That would give you negative 6x minus 18, because negative 6 times positive 3 is negative 18 is equal to 24. Now we want to isolate x, so I'm going to add 18 to both sides. Okay, so that's going to cancel this out and bring this down. That's going to be negative 6x. Bringing down the equal sign, that's going to be 42. Okay, and then divide both sides by negative 6, right? We're dividing by the coefficient of x. We get x is equal to negative 7. Okay, and then here's another one. Parentheses, right? We're distributing the 5. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's going to be 5x plus 15 is equal to 35, and then subtract 15 from both sides. Okay, and then bring down the 5x, bring down the equal sign because this cancels. 35 minus 15 is 20 today, and then divide both sides by 5, and we get x is equal to 4. Not too bad. Now, a few of you might be like, well, can I divide both sides by the number in front of the parentheses? Yes, you can. However, it's not always that it works out that nicely. So, but yes, you can do that. Okay, so here we have negative parenthesis y plus 9 is equal to 8. So remember, this is equivalent to saying this is a negative 1. So we're going to distribute that. That's just going to make this a negative y minus 9 is equal to 8. So then to get y by itself, I'm going to add the 9 to both sides, right? So that's going to cancel this out because that becomes 0. I'm bringing everything else down. So minus y, the equal sign, and then 8 plus 9 is 17 today. And then again, to get rid of this minus, dividing both sides by negative 1, that's going to make this positive on the left-hand side. And this will, of course, be negative 17. Okay, cool. Let's do another one. So let's distribute this negative here. We get negative y minus 8 is equal to negative 2. Then we're going to add 8 to both sides. Okay, cancel that out. Bring this down. Minus y is equal to negative 2 plus 8 is 6 today. Then divide by negative 1 to get rid of the coefficient of negative 1. We get y is equal to negative 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. So here we have this. Let's distribute this here. There's two ways. So we do 5a minus 15 plus 5 is equal to negative 10. So I'm going to add these two together. 5a minus 10 is equal to negative 10. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. Okay, so that's going to cancel this out on the left-hand side. And you're going to get a 5a on the left-hand side is equal to, well, negative 10 plus 10, that actually cancels out and becomes 0, yeah? So you have a 0 on the right-hand side. Why didn't I write on the left-hand side? Because anything plus 0 is still that number. So I kind of skip a step when I do that. But on the right-hand side, because there's nothing else, it is important that you write the 0 down. Okay, so now dividing by 5. Then remember, property of 0. 0 divided by anything is still 0. So there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this last one. So let's distribute that 7. We get 7n minus 21 minus 8 is equal to negative 15. So let's combine like terms. 7n minus 29 is equal to negative 15. So then we add 29 to both sides because we're trying to get 7n by itself. So 7n is equal to, and then here we have negative 15 plus 29, that's 14. So of course we know, now we're going to divide both sides by the coefficient of n to get rid of it. And we get 14 divided by 7, which is of course 2. All right, not too bad. Let's do a few more for fun. So again, remember, you can always hit pause. Okay, if you hit pause, then you can spend that time working on the problem, and then you can come back and check in with me afterwards. So that's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this problem together. So let's distribute this on the left-hand side. So 2/3, I'm going to write out this step, times 9x minus, and I'm distributing the 2/3 times 12, because that's the negative 12 right here, is equal to 8 plus 2x. Okay, so 2/3 of 9. So 3 goes into 9 3 times. That's going to be 6x. And then here, 3 goes into 12 4 times. Right, this is like as if it was over 1. So 4 times 2 is 8. So minus 8 is equal to 8 plus 2x. Come on, weird paste, select all thing, get away. Okay, so 8 plus 2x. Okay, so now I'm going to move the constants over. So plus 8 here. So that's going to cancel it here. I get 6x is equal to 8 plus 2x. So I'm going to move the 2x by subtracting 2x from both sides of the equation. Okay, so then that's going to be 4x is equal to 8. So divide by 4. And finally, you get x is equal to 2. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Let's do this one here. We have negative 6 minus 8k. Negative 8 times negative 2 becomes a positive 16. Okay, is equal to negative 10. So like terms, here and here, we get negative 8k. What's negative 6 plus 16? That's going to be positive 10 is equal to negative 10. So then we're going to subtract 10 from both sides, okay, to get rid of that. And that's going to be here. That's going to cancel. Excuse me. We're going to get negative 8k is equal to negative 20. Okay, divide both sides by negative 8. That's going to turn this into a positive number, and these are both divisible by 4. Right, so we get k is equal to 5/2. All right. Okay, so here we have 8 minus 2 times the quantity. Quantity is like grouped together, 3y plus 5. So let's go ahead and distribute this minus 2. So we get 8 minus 2 times 3 is 6y. 2 times 5 is 10, but it's negative, is equal to 0. So let's combine the like terms. So we get negative 6y. 8 minus 10 is negative 2 today. Just 2, not 20. Okay, is equal to 0. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides because I want to get to, you know, the variable is equal to some number. Okay, so here I have negative 6y is equal to 2. So divide both sides by negative 6. And we get y is equal to a negative 1/3 after we reduce. Okay, not too bad, right, guys? So now let's go ahead and do this last one together. Just for fun, let's change the color. Let's make it pink. Okay, so here we have, we're going to distribute this 4. And on the right-hand side, we'll distribute the 5. Okay, so we're getting a little bit better, so we can start taking off the training wheels here. So 4x minus 4. Bring down the minus 2 is equal to 5 times 2x is 10x plus 5 times 3 is 15. And then I bring down the plus 6. So now I have this equation. So let's go ahead and combine like terms on either side. So we get 4x minus 6 is equal to 10x. And then we have 15 plus 6 is 21. So I want to move the variables on one side and the constants on the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the constants over here. And I'm going to get 4x is equal to 10x plus, and then 21 plus 6 is 27 today. So now I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides because it's positive, right? So then I do that, and I get 4x minus 10x is negative 6x is equal to 27. So divide both sides by negative 6, okay? I get x is equal to, now both of these are divisible by 3. So this is going to be a negative 9/2. And that's it. Okay, let's have, I think I have another problem, super fun problem here. So remember, we're going to simplify each side. On the left-hand side, we have a bracket situation, so we need to use PEMDAS. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS, okay? So let's go ahead and distribute this 8 first because it's inside of the bracket. So we'll have 10, bracket, 3, and then negative 8 times 2s is negative 16s plus 40, end bracket, equals, and then we're going to distribute the 15 here. So what is 15 times 40? So that 15 times 40 is 600. Okay, so 15 times 40, we have 600 minus, and then 15 times 5s would be 75s. Okay, so then after that, we have, now we need to continue to simplify here on the left-hand side. So we have 10 and then bracket, and the common terms are this 3 and this 40 here. So it's going to be 43 minus 16s is equal to, and then we have 600 minus 75s. So can't simplify any further on the right-hand side. But on the left-hand side, yeah, we can. So this is the same as a parenthesis. This bracket can behave as a parenthesis, so we distribute the 10. That becomes 430 minus 160s is equal to 600 minus 75s. Okay, so in this case, I'll move the variable term to the other side. So I'm going to add 160s to both sides, so that cancels. I get 430 is equal to 600, and then 160s minus 75s. So basically, remember, we're subtracting because they're different signs. So that's going to be 85s positive. So then we subtract 600 from both sides. Okay, that cancels out. So I'm going to bring this over here because I'm running out of space. So 430 minus 600 is what? It's going to be negative, right? And we're subtracting. So that's going to be 170. Negative 170 is equal to 85s. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of, sorry, I don't like that s right there. I'm going to erase it and rewrite it. S. Okay, so I'm going to divide by the coefficient of the variable, which is 85. So now I just have negative 170 divided by 85, and that's going to just be negative 2. So that is that. So you can, negative 2 equals s, or you can write s is equal to negative 2 if you feel more comfortable. Okay, so let's do one more like this. Remember, you can always hit pause, try it, and then check with me. So it's the same kind of situation. We're going to distribute on the inside first. So you have 6 bracket 4 minus 14y plus 2, end bracket is equal to, and then distributing the 8, we have 13 times 8, which is 104, minus 64y. And then let's go ahead and simplify this. We have 6 bracket 6 minus 14y is equal to 104 minus 64y. So let's distribute now. Again, we have 36 minus, and then 6 times 64. I mean, 6 times 14. Sorry, I don't know why I said 64. Probably because there was a 64 earlier. That's going to be 84y. And that's equal to 104 minus 64y. So this time, I'll go ahead and add the, move the coefficient, the variable to the left by adding it to both sides, right? Okay, so then here I have, I'm going to bring this down 36, and then I have negative 84y plus 64, that's going to be negative 20y. Is equal to 104 because this cancels out. So now I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. And then I have here negative 20y is equal to, and then 104 minus 36 is what? Let's go brain. That's going to be 68. and we're going to divide both sides by negative 20. Okay, and finally our answer, this top and bottom divides, at least it divides by 2, but could we divide it further? Yeah, we could divide top and bottom by 4. Okay, so this is going to be y equal to negative 17 over 5. Okay. All right, so let's talk about a conditional equation. So what is a conditional equation? So everything that has a solution. So with one or more solutions. So one, if it's linear, one solution. Now the number of solutions depends on the value of the exponent of the variable, but we're not getting into that yet. So for now, we can say that it's conditional. Everything we've been doing has been conditional, okay? So let's continue. I guess we can do another example. This looks like what I did, but I guess I didn't do it. So let's go ahead. So we have 12 bracket 1 minus, this is going to be 20z, negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5, equal to, distribute the 3, and then 3 times 24 is 72, plus 3 times 11 is 33z. Let's combine here. We have 12 bracket, and then positive 1 and positive 5 is 6 minus 20z. Okay, equal to 72 plus 33z. Okay, let's distribute that 12. We get 72. 12 times 6 is 72. This is a z, by the way. And then 20 times 12 is going to be 240. Negative 240z is equal to 72 plus 33z. Okay, so if I subtract 72 from both sides, I'm going to get negative 240z is equal to 0 plus 33z, yeah? So then if I move the 33z by subtracting it over, you can kind of see what's going to happen here. On the left-hand side, I get negative 273z is equal to 0, but if you divide both sides by negative 273 to get rid of that coefficient, kind of large, doesn't matter, 0 divided by anything is still 0, okay? So you can see here that this is a conditional equation. And then this one here, let's go ahead and multiply, distribute that 0.36. So 0.36 times 100n is going to be 36n plus, and then 0.36 times 5 is going to be what? 1.8 is equal to, and then 0.6 times 30 is going to be what? 0.6 times 30 is going to be 18, and plus, and then you have 0.6 times 15, 0.6 times 15, and that's going to be 9, okay? And then let's go ahead and put subtract both sides by 18n, okay? So 36n minus 18n is 18n. Bring everything else down. That's going to be plus 1.8 is equal to 9. So minus 1.8 to both sides. Okay, we get 18n is equal to 9 minus 1.8, okay, which is 7.2. So then finally, divide both sides by the coefficient of n, and we get n is equal to 7.2 divided by 18, which is 0.4. Okay. All right, so those are examples of conditionals. Now the identity is something that is true all the time. Okay, so when you have an identity as your equation, that means that if I solve it, any possible value, it's true for all real numbers. Okay, so see here, let's say for instance you have 2y plus 6 is equal to 2 times the quantity y plus 3, and if we solve it, we distribute it, we subtract from both sides, we get 6 equals 6. We got rid of the variable. So what that means, that's called an identity. And some people say it's infinitely many solutions, but your book says all real solutions, which is fine. So this is another way to say that. This is a symbol for all real numbers. Okay. Now, a contradiction is a little different. So let's say if you have this equation, 5z is equal to 5z minus 1. Now, if I was to solve this, subtract both sides by 5z, I get this statement here. 0 equal to negative 1. Well, that's false, right? Or wrong. You know, this 0 does not equal negative 1. So your textbook calls that a contradiction. That's fine. You can say, oh, I have a contradiction because it's not true, which makes sense because how is 5z equal to itself minus 1? So this type of equation has no solution. None, okay? So you'd say this has no solution, okay? Or it's false. All right, then the last one, well, let's just to recap, we already went through the 3. So to recap, we have 3 types of equations. We have conditional, basically when we get like x is equal to 3, y is equal to negative 7, something like that. 1 or more. In this case, we've only been doing linear, so it's 1, but later on we're going to have more. That's a conditional equation. The identity is true for any value of the variable, so the solution is all real numbers. So let's say, for instance, you get 0 equals 0, or 5 is equal to 5, and so on. Now, a contradiction is when you get something like 0 equal to negative 1, which is false. Or like 5 is equal to 2. Like, you know, that's obviously not true. So in this case, we would say no solution, okay? Okay, so let's see here. So let's solve some equations and let's figure out if it's conditional, identity, or a contradiction, okay? So first of all, here, let's go ahead and do this. We have, let's simplify the left-hand side. 12n minus 6 plus 3 is equal to, and then we're just going to write this down, 2n minus 8 plus, distributing the 5, plus 10n plus 5. Okay, on the left-hand side, these are the only like terms. So 12n minus 3. Then on the right-hand side, we have 12n, negative 8, and a positive 5 minus 3. Oh, okay, so do you kind of see where we're going here with this, right? If I try to move the variable over, it cancels out on both sides, and I get negative 3 is equal to negative 3. So which one is that? Conditional, identity, or contradiction? And if you said identity, you were right. So this is identity, okay? This means that it has all real solutions, okay, or infinitely many solutions, okay? Okay, so let's do the next problem. We're going to go ahead and simplify each side of the equation. So 4 plus 27x minus 63 is equal to negative 42x minus 13. Distributing this 23, I get plus 69x minus 46. So let's combine like terms. We have 27x on the left-hand side with the 4 and the 63. That's going to be negative 59 is equal to, and let's see, 42 and 69x, they're unlike terms. So what is negative 42 plus, negative 42x, plus 69x is going to be 27x positive. And then negative 13 minus 46 is going to be minus 59. So you kind of see already what this is going to be, right? Because they're going to be exactly the same. So they are exactly the same. So you see here, this is going to be negative 59 is equal to negative 59. So again, it's going to be an identity. Okay, infinitely many solutions or all real numbers. Identity. Okay. Wait, identity, sorry. My bad. Okay, so let's do a couple more. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to do, say if it's a conditional identity or contradiction. So let's distribute. We have 8 minus 24x plus, let's distribute 30x plus, and what's 15 times 7, 105. Excuse me. 15 times 7, 105 is equal to, and then distributing the 2, 2x plus 100 plus distributing this 4, 4x plus 12 plus 1. Okay, so on the left-hand side, let's go ahead and group the variables together just on the left-hand side. So that's going to be 6x, and then the constants is going to be plus, and then 105 plus 8 is going to be 113, is equal to, and then we have here on the right-hand side, 2x plus 4x is 6x. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then constants, we have 100 plus 12 plus 1. That's going to be 113. So again, this looks like it's an identity situation, yeah? So we get 113 is equal to 113. So all real numbers, and this is the identity. Okay, so what about this here? So let's see here. Let's solve for p. So actually, we're going to distribute first. Doesn't really matter, but it's fine. Plus 4p minus 20 is equal to 0. Let's combine like terms. We have 4p minus 10 is equal to 0. So let's solve for p, add 10 to both sides. We get 4p is equal to 10, divide by 4, and reduce, divide top and bottom by 2 because that's they're both even, so p is equal to 5/2. So we have a single solution, so this is a conditional equation, okay? Let's see here. Okay, we have a couple more. So let's distribute this 3 here. 5m plus 27 plus 9m is equal to, distribute this 2, 14m minus 22. So let's combine like terms on the left-hand side. 14m plus 27 is equal to 14m minus 22. So you kind of see where we're going here. Let's move the 14m by subtracting it from both sides. It cancels out on both sides. So we get 27 is equal to negative 22. Well, that is false, right? That's not true. 27 does not equal negative 22, so that's a contradiction. So no solution. Graphically speaking, because we're talking about linear equations, and we're going to get into this, if not soon, but sooner than later, that means there are two lines that never cross. They never touch. So okay, let's continue. Last example here. Let's simplify this. Distributing the 4, we get 28d plus, and then 4 times 18 is 72 is equal to, and then let's distribute this 13. We get 39d minus 26 minus 11d. So on the left-hand side, there isn't anything else to simplify, so I'll just rewrite that. And then here on the right, I have here 39 minus 11, that's going to be 28d minus 26. So if I try to move this over, you see what's going to happen here. They cancel out, right? Because it's I subtracted it. So I get 72 is equal to negative 26. Well, that's not correct. So that's false. So that's a contradiction. And that means that there is no solution. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's it for this section. Good luck. If you feel a little wobbly, go ahead and do all the odds. Make sure you check your answers as you go. Okay, and don't forget to check in with your study buddies. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. Good luck, happy studying, and I will see you on the next video.